Hey Monster Truck fans, welcome back to ActionTracks. We're in the Saturday night competition, wheelies and donuts. Joe Nichter from Stomper coming out first. We caught up with him earlier. Joe Nichter, first time on the Monster Nationals Tour, came in last night and put a stomping on people. Tell us about that.
It was awesome. I tell you, I got some of the best crew guys in the world. We had steering issues. They kept putting it back together, and I told them they'd get me to the final round. I'll make sure I do whatever I can to take it, and we did it, and it was great. Being able to take a win in hometown is awesome.
Joe really excited about that big win in his home state, looking to repeat tonight. Starting off the wheelie competition with a nice wheelie. There you see they've added a van in the racing lanes tonight. That'll impact the wheelies just a little bit. Now, one thing you'll notice missing this weekend in Corbin, Bigfoot has typically been a staple of the Monster Nationals lineup in 2011. This weekend, 2 shows going on in different locations for Monster Nationals. Bigfoot at the other location. You can track all of the point standings on MonsterNationals.com and get all your results there and find out who's leading the racing standings right now. Bigfoot and Rick Long on top of the point standing over Bobby Holman. Rick would actually have a larger lead than he does right now because they've divided Bigfoot and Snakebite, both trucks that Rick Long has driven this year, into 2 different points entries, and so Rick Long only a 25-point lead over second place Bobby Holman. Again, follow MonsterNationals.com for all your Monster Nationals standings. Chalkboard Chuck out on the floor right now. Pretty good wheelie for Jeff Hatton. The kid has got his wheelies down. Bobby Holman coming onto the floor. This will be our last truck. Apparently there are some problems with Star Marshal. The truck wouldn't refire. They've had some trouble with that truck since making its debut. Still getting some bugs ironed out. We've actually gotten word that they broke the teeth off of the distributor and they are thrashing back in the pits to get that truck back for racing and or freestyle. Bobby Holman out there trying to take a wheelie contest victory. Some good wheelies. We'll have to see how it works in conjunction with the donut competition that they'll come back out and do right now. Joe Nichter now bringing the Stomper back out to do his donut portion of the combination contest. Good donuts last night. Let's see if he can get those going again. The new truck really seems to be working well for Nichter. It looks a lot like the old Wild Hair truck. I mean, it is the old Wild Hair truck, but for as much work as he put in it, the resemblance is remarkable, which I've always really liked that truck. And more great donuts for Nichter and Stomper. You saw him flip the KC lights on mid-stride. A nice showmanship touch. Joe Nichter, a great showing on the floor of the arena. That could be tough to beat with his combination wheelie and donuts. Chalkboard Chuck has had some good donuts, but he's had a tendency to walk it across the floor, which can get him in trouble quickly. We'll see how it works out for him now. Whipping into that power and walking it across. Saw that wall coming up and very wisely backed out of it, but he's not going to give up. He's going to try that donut again. No quit in Jeff Hatton. Chalkboard Chuck, the face only a mother can love, and he's walking it into the car set. Just a little bit. You gotta worry that you can cut a tire down, whipping it into a car lane like that, but he's probably okay. I didn't see any real jagged edges there, but you never know. Great wheelie, a great donut for Jeff Hatton. This could be a tight contest. Bobby Holman. The guy just wails on it in the donut competition and whipping it across the track. Oh, so close to the cars. Just tags him as he's stopping. Beautiful for Bobby Holman. But the crowd has spoken, and Joe Nichter is going to take the combination contest victory. We caught up with Bobby Holman talking about his new expanded team.
Now, you've recently you've run 2 trucks for a long time. You've recently expanded to 4 trucks. What was the reasoning behind that?
Well, we just had the opportunity. We've been working with family events. They approached us. I actually wanted to know if we'd be interested in doing something like that. Had a good program, had a good idea, so that's what we did. It's a combination. Dan and Chris Patrick has helped us out immensely. If it wasn't for them guys, we probably couldn't have got this thing done. Building the chassis for us, we just didn't have time to build them ourselves, or we'd have built them in house. But his pieces are great. You can't get no better. So a lot of people came together on this, Chris, to get it done. So we still don't have the other truck done. It's forthcoming. It's on its way. But once we get it done, it's going to be a really good deal. It was a good opportunity for us. I wanted to have 4 trucks, just didn't want to have them this quick. Planned on building one next year and then one a year after that. But when opportunity knocks, sometimes you got to open doors. So
now, you mentioned you had the Patricks build your truck. To what degree did they build the truck for you? Was it a turnkey or?
He built the chassis for us. He built the rear end housing. We're running his shocks. A lot of his parts, axle shafts, stuff like that. We put the trucks together at the house, at the shop. Fowler Engines in Columbus built the motors for us. We built the trannies in-house. Obviously put the planetaries and stuff together. But if it wasn't for Dan and them guys, we'd had a hard time doing it this quick.
Now, tell us a little bit about the new trucks, I guess.
Star Marshal, the bodies are actually the idea from family events. They wanted to do this kind of interactive stuff. The Chalkboard Chuck deal come up. Wasn't real fond of it at first. Wasn't really fond of them, all of them at first. But once we got into it, we knew the bodies were going to be kind of weird looking on them. But that's what they were kind of looking for. These trucks were geared to the kids, and the kids have just responded to them for 2 shows. You were here last night. You've seen just a mass of people around that Chalkboard Chuck. We didn't think it would take off like it did, but it has. So the bodies are basically theirs, or my trucks. Bodies are theirs, running their concepts. So it was just an idea, try to get the fans more involved in with the trucks, get novelties involved with it, and so far it's worked out great.
Chalkboard's got a face only a mother can love, but the fans are eating it up.
They're absolutely eating it up. When we did the Chalkboard thing, and Matthew that worked for family events said, "Hey, let's put a face on it." And we're like, didn't want to get that Mater looking thing, but we put the eyeballs on there, and he come up with the tongue, and I'm like, well, we might as well go ahead and put teeth on it now. So, it's a goofy looking thing, but the kids love it.
It fits. It fits the rest of the character.
When we get the other chassis done, that body's going to go back onto the new chassis. We're going to go back with the Iron Man. We got another sponsor for Iron Man. It's going to be a cool deal when we get done. We're going to completely revamp the Iron Man deal. But these trucks, once they catch on, are going to be really cool, and everywhere we've done 2 shows so far this deal. Fans love them. Kids love them. Everybody's happy with them.
So Iron Man will remain Iron Man.
Right. Different version of it. We got a sponsor. I can't really say that right now because we're working in the deal right now, but it's going to be a really cool deal. It's still going to be to support our armed forces and all our men and women doing that, but it's going to be heavily involved with the armed forces now. So it's going to be a really neat deal.
A lot of motorsports teams have tried expansion, and you've seen it in NASCAR frequently. Some have had growing pains. Some have been really successful right out of the bat.
Right.
How do you try to minimize the issues and maximize the performance?
Well, it's tough. It's really been a tough deal transitioning from 2 trucks to 4 trucks. The least of the problems is you got to have 4 of everything. But the manpower, getting drivers, getting people to work, it's been tough. And now, we had a pretty good system down for keeping 2 trucks on the road, keeping everything together. Well, now we're doing 4. And it's tough. It really is. Once we get a system down, we get all our bugs worked out of our system, I think we'll be okay. But we got good people. My brother's driving the 1 truck. Unfortunately, he's sick right now, so we put Dave in the Star Marshal. He's going to be eventually driving Chalkboard Chuck. And Jeff has been working with us for years, Hatton, and he's driving he's going to be in the Iron Man truck when we get that new sponsor and everything. So we've got good people in place. We just got to find our groove. Once we get in there, I think we'll be okay.
Bobby Holman, a longtime staple of the monster truck industry. A lot of big things going on with his monster truck team. We're going into racing on Saturday night, and we've got Stomper versus Chalkboard Chuck on the starting line. Joe Lurch, just like on Friday night, he's cutting it close. Luckily, we haven't seen it in the finals where they could really nick him for it. Nichter going on to this final round. Looks like they weren't able to get the Star Marshal repaired for the first round of racing, so Bobby Holman will have a bye run. Not letting off, though, a really hard run for Bobby Holman. Testing the waters. He'll have some tough competition in the Stomper truck in the finals. Freestyle, FMX, Tim Dyson, an integral part of the Monster National Show, comes out a couple times each show and puts on a dynamite showing with his freestyle motocross team. That looked like a one-hand super can. We got a tail whip. Superman variation. I'm not exactly sure what that's called. I'm trying to keep up with these guys. It's hard to keep up with all the variations. It looked like an Indian Air seat grab. A tsunami. Always impressive. Sticking the helmet on the handlebars. Superman. A Cordova. Seems tough to stick your feet in front of you on the handlebars. We got a Superman seat grab out of Tim Dyson. A cliffhanger. Gotta be scary. A rock solid. These guys getting warmed up, you see here. A super can. Oh, but it looks like Tim Dyson is warming the crowd up for something bigger. I think we can guess what's going to be coming up next. I think Tim Dyson is warming the crowd up for a backflip. Yes, indeed. Beautiful rotation for Tim Dyson. Now they're going to round out the show with a train. Looks like a Superman, a Cordova, and some Indian Air. The train, a spectacular moment. No room for error. Gonna do it once again. A tail whip. I didn't even catch that one. Tim Dyson and another backflip. Perfectly on the landing ramp that time. A little bit better than the last time. Showing his appreciation to the crowd, getting these fans all wound up for the final rounds of racing. We've got the consolation round coming out. Chalkboard Chuck versus Star Marshal with Dave Radzierez. The guys staging up. Team bragging rights on the line. Going green. Star Marshal nails him on the tree and he's going to be first to that finish line. We'll have the final round of racing when we come back to Corbin on ActionTracks.